Let's talk about some of the top trends on YouTube this month, but most importantly, how we can use these trends to level up our YouTube content. Now, if you're new here, you might not know that I actually done a video like this last month, and you guys loved it so much and you found it so useful that I thought, you know what, let's bring it back. I've had the privilege to speak directly with YouTube's culture and trends team about these trends, so I'm really excited to dive into them. Get your notepad and pen ready, let's get to it. Okay, I'm gonna kick off with a huge trend that I'm pretty certain you've seen on YouTube recently, but I really want you to stick with me because I'm going to talk about how you can actually use this for your own content. Now, this trend is Wes Anderson inspired creation. Now, you guys know the trend that I'm talking about, right? It's the trend which involves people creating this really aesthetic piece of content that really mirrors Wes Anderson's style and aesthetic too. Now, for those of you who don't know who Wes Anderson is, you might have seen the trend and just been like, I don't get it. Wes Anderson is a film director who is renowned for his eccentric style, his use of colors, and unique visual narratives, which make his films really identifiable, right? Now that I've described it to you, and now that I've shown some examples of this trend on screen, I'm willing to bet that you can already think of a few films that you've seen that have probably been directed by Wes Anderson. So what does this trend mean to you and I, right? So the content creators of the world, why does this trend matter? Well, this trend is actually super unique because it taps into an aesthetic rather than a challenge or a call to action, which is what most trends normally do. This one is more about a style of editing and use of color, right? So it's really different from the trends that we normally see. Tapping into a trend like this, which is really aesthetically led, is really exciting for us content creators out there because it actually allows us to tap into a form of popular content without us having to move away from what our niche is or what our audience normally likes. It's about the aesthetics. So we can still speak to our same audience or speak about the same stuff, but do it in a way that mirrors Wes Anderson's aesthetic. It helps us tap into a trend and get creative without us moving too far away from our normal style of content. Okay, next trend. Have you guys heard of Lo-Fi Girl? I'm willing to bet a lot of you have heard of Lo-Fi Girl. So Lo-Fi Girl is essentially a character which became everyone's best study buddy. She's basically known for creating this really calm environment through really great music and like calming beats. You know the vibe, right? She's known for creating this amazing environment which allows people to study alongside her. And she is widely known across the globe. Like she's pretty famous, right? She's up there. So why does this matter? Well, buckle up, because a few weeks ago, Lo-Fi Girl disappeared, right? She disappeared from her iconic desk that everyone is so used to seeing her sit at. She disappeared from that desk and everyone was like, what's gone on, right? So Lo-Fi Girl is nowhere to be seen. Fans are freaking out. No one's studying anymore. Like grades are dropping. Everything's going wrong. And all while this is happening, Lo-Fi Girl is dropping these little hints and clues using live streams, using YouTube shorts to basically help her fans figure out where she's gone and what's really happening. Now, the grand reveal, because I'm sure you're all gripping onto your seats trying to figure out where exactly Lo-Fi Girl had gone, was that there's a new character coming onto her channel called Lo-Fi Boy, right? So this channel basically utilized every single YouTube feature that exists, right? She was on live streams, she was doing countdowns, she was using community posts, she was using shorts, she was using all of these amazing features that are available on YouTube to drive anticipation for the announcement of this brand new character. What does this matter for you and I? Well, in my opinion, this is like a masterclass in marketing. This is everything that I was taught at uni. This is everything that I learned during my years and years working in marketing and advertising. It is a lesson in how to build up demand and how to bring your community along for a journey with you and really ramp up excitement around something new that you're doing. So whether you are about to start doing monthly live streams, or maybe you're about to launch a new product or service, or maybe you're exploring a new niche, you don't have to just let these big changes pass by and just update your audience as and when they've happened. You can actually drive up so much excitement around it using the many different features available on YouTube, such as community posts, shorts, live streams, etc. Now, just to land this point home, in the case of Lo-Fi Girl and now Lo-Fi Boy, this interactive multi-format strategy that they basically incorporated essentially led to a huge spike in their channel's one-day views. So by the time they got to the day before the big announcement of Lo-Fi Boy, their one-day streams peaked at 1.4 million viewers on a live stream. It's pretty intense. Okay, so this next trend is a huge one for anyone who's trying to build a community. I'm going to take a wild guess and say that if you clicked on this video, you're pretty keen to build a community on YouTube, right? This trend is called anime around the world. Now, whether or not you're familiar with anime, which essentially refers to animated characters and stories, which originated in Japan, you'll be really interested to hear some of the stats I'm about to share with you because anime is huge. Now, as I mentioned, right, it originated in a local community in Japan. Over time, it has steadily grown and reached incredible heights of global popularity. In fact, Uploads of video content related to anime have increased by 40% year on year globally. And to top it off, 85% of the viewership for this content is coming from outside of Japan. So it originated from a niche local community in Japan, and now 85% of the viewership is coming from outside of Japan, which is wild. An example of anime's worldwide influence can be seen in the Toka Toka dance trend. I don't know if you guys have seen it before, but essentially this trend originated in Japan, but then quickly saw recreations in locations like India and Korea. So it's time for my favorite question. Why does this matter? What does this mean for us as creators? Well, I mentioned already that this trend is a really great example of the power of community when it comes to the success of a certain style of content. One of the main reasons why anime has seen this huge spike in worldwide popularity is because of its community building efforts. Fans of anime actively participate in this style of content. So this is everything from crowdsourcing ideas to crowdfunding to just general community engagement. So use this trend as inspiration for different ways that you could actually bring your audience into the creative process. So whether that's you uploading a community post and polling your audience on what content they want to see next, all the way from you doing a bigger campaign, which actually allows your audience to dictate your content calendar for the next few months. Think about what that looks like for you, because when you deepen that relationship with your community, you're able to unlock a huge amount of growth. All right, so the next trend is called Musica Mexicana. Bit of background. By the second week of May 2023, 25% of US top chart songs were made up of Musica Mexicana. Now, what this tells me is that this genre of music has seen a huge spike as of late. If you're not familiar with this genre, it can be described as folk music from rural Mexico. Now, what's really interesting about this, I mean, there are several interesting things about this, but to start is the fact that this genre of music is not new. It has been around for a really long time. However, a new wave of artists have brought this genre into the mainstream again by putting their own fresh aesthetic on it. I'm going to put some clips on the screen so you can see some examples of the fresh aesthetic that I'm referring to. So what does this mean for us, right? How do we use this trend? Well, this trend does a really great job at showing us what's possible when it comes to how we can utilize slightly older content, maybe slightly older aesthetics or genres, and bring it into current times and really make it our own. This could be a game changer when it comes to our ideation and where we get our content ideas from, because a lot of us focus on the present when it comes to what content ideas we think our audience would like. But I don't think it would hurt us to look back and see some of the content that was popular at a different time and see if we can adapt it, make it fresh and make it relatable to our audience in the present day. Okay guys, it's the last trend. This one is called color theory. This one has had my mind blown for at least a couple weeks now, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen it. It's essentially a trend where creators are mixing primary colors together in their makeup to create their perfect shades. Now get ready, because I feel like this stat is going to blow your mind. In the last 90 days, there have been over 35 million views on videos related to this trend. 35 million views in the last 90 days. Now, whilst the trend itself is new, it's actually nodding towards a subject that a lot of beauty creators have been talking about for a while now, and that's all about inclusivity when it comes to the beauty space. Now, a lot of us will be well aware of how the beauty industry has changed over the last few years to become a lot more inclusive, but there's still so much further that we can all go. Now, what this means for us in terms of creators and how we can utilize this trend is it shines a light on the importance of inclusivity across all of our content, regardless of whether we're a beauty creator or not. Making a conscious effort to ensure that the content that we create is inclusive to multiple cultures, multiple races, is something that we should all be doing, because it ensures that our content is relevant and reflects the world that we actually live in. Okay guys, those are some of the top 5 trends. I really want to hear from you guys. Which one of those 5 trends is your favorite? Can you let me know in the comments? If you feel like hanging around, I really recommend watching this video. It is basically my complete guide to growing on YouTube in 2023, so it is an absolute must watch. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I can't wait to see you in my next video.